Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to 1403 Bohemia and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is a continuation of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, and it started about a week or so after Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 ended. So it's pretty much a continuation of the same story, the same people, everything like that. So we're just going to go straight into it. Let me just say that I haven't changed any of the settings other than I've increased the power to the microphone. When I say power, I mean I've upped the decibels of the microphone so it's easier to hear me over the game. I think there are only certain situations where the music or the sounds inside the game are loud enough to drown out my voice, but we did bump up my voice levels to make sure that he can hear me, because I know, and I realized that after I did it, the voice level of the microphone was really low, and I know that for a fact. I listened to it in some of the more loud spots where the music and the sound effects were very loud, and you literally couldn't hardly hear me, and I apologize for that. But it was an hour and 41-minute video. I wasn't really going to go back and redo that, because to tell you the truth, I have throughout this week I've done it about 3 times, because one, I forgot to open up the recording software. Another time I had played with the video settings trying to get a better FPS, and it actually made the FPS worse. And another time, I forget what. Oh, another time I did a whole hour and 40 minutes or so video. Then I looked at it, and it was so pixelated because I had not increased the bit rate in the output section of the recording software. So anyway, let's get right to it. So if you remember from the last episode, we were going to Trosky to deliver a letter, but then our group was attacked while we were bathing. And so we managed to get away, but we had to sneak to get away, and Henry was injured. And then we made it to this cottage, and this lady, her woman Bojana, patched Henry up, patched me up, and then a bandit came crashing through the door, and Hans took care of him, but in doing so, Hans was injured. And so now Hans is in a coma, or in a deep sleep or whatever, with a fever, and she's tending to him, and I have to go and help. But I think, let's look at the journal. It says, I took care of myself the way Bojana wanted. I have to ask her how Sir Hans is coming along. Show yourself to Bojana. So in the last episode, I looted the bandit that Sir Hans killed, and the body's still out there in the garden. As you can see, some of these items still have mud on them. The way you get mud off, I believe, is you either have to wash your clothes by going to a place by a pond and using soap, which is something new in KCD2, or going to the bath, which is something that was already in the game in KCD1. And so yeah, we're still, the clothes still are not perfect, and they're also damaged a little, but at least they're clean of blood. So anyway, let's show ourselves to Bojana.
I did what you asked.
And you didn't faint while doing it. I'm pleased, Henry. I had to pour a whole Lethean potion into you last night. That's what I call medicine. It can either put a dead man back on his feet, or make sure he never gets up again. So consider yourself lucky.
I will. But what about Capon?
Well, he's less lucky. That brute really knocked him about before Hans beat the life out of him.
Can I help?
Is there any way I can help? I owe it to Capon, and I want to do whatever I can.
You owe him, all right. I've got a bit of that Lethean potion left. It ought to work wonders on him, same as on you. But I can't just give it to him now. First, we have to deal with that fever. The best and fastest remedy for that is chamomile decoction. Luckily, it ain't too hard to brew, but we'll need some fresh sage for it. And, of course, chamomile. You ought to be able to manage that. You've got young legs and eyes, and I reckon a bit of a stroll would do you good.
I know about herbs from KCD1, but as you can see, that deer head is for survival, and our survival score is only 5, and I know I would fail this, so I'm just going to
All right.
say, how do I recognize it?
Tell me, what do the herbs look like?
Sage has a purple blossom, and chamomile has white petals with a yellow centre. At the back of the hut, there's a footpath leading up to the rocks. You go along there till you reach a sort of small meadow. You ought to find both of them there.
Great. I'll be back in a jiffy with a couple of handfuls.
All right. I'll be glad if you get back here soon. I don't feel right being here with that corpse in my yard. Seeing him lying there gives me chills. I can't think straight.
I understand. It makes me anxious, too. Maybe I could manage to bury him somewhere. Or at least hide him somewhere further off in the woods.
The Lord be praised. I'd be truly glad of that. Do you feel up to it, laddie? You ain't in the best of shape, and digging a grave's a tough job, even for a healthy fella.
I think I can manage.
Not to worry. I'll see what I can manage. It's on account of us that he's here, anyway. I wouldn't want you to have any more trouble. And a bit of effort, even if it's a dirty job, is the least I owe you.
Well, if you think you can manage it, good, but don't overstrain yourself. And thanks.
Where should I put him?
Grab the spade by the dung pile and bury him by the creek. The soil will be softer there, so it should be easier. When you head out the gate, follow your nose. Find a good spot somewhere in the reeds and nettles. And when you're done with that, better have a wash, so's you don't have the stench of death on you.
True. I'll bear that in mind.
I'll sort out the rest with Ignatius, the gravedigger, when he comes by again, so's I don't have that wretch lying here till Judgment Day.
All right. I'll get to it.
All right, so we've been given a couple of tasks by Bojana, the herb woman.
That potion, and sooner rather than later.
So to see where to go, open the map by pressing M. And so this is the place where I go to pick up chamomile and pick up sage, and then the dead body is, if we look at this, pick up the or take the spade. It's optional. If I'm going to bury someone, I'll need the right tool. Looks like a spade, which should be somewhere near the manure pit, which is over here where he actually died. So this is the spade. Pick it up. I'm going to bury him first. Grab the body. Grab the body. Carry the corpse to the stream. Compass located at the top of the screen will help you navigate the world. Now, of course, in hardcore, you might not have this compass working for you very well. When you're over encumbered, it's hard to walk over logs like that, so I'm going to just maneuver around. Keep on going.
Ah, shit! My shoulder. This bastard's hard work.
All right.
You can't be in the ground soon enough.
So we get an E for start digging in the bottom right, so let's go ahead and start digging. Dig a grave. And I keep hitting that E. Carry the corpse to the grave and bury it E. E. after quite a bit of arduous work, he's buried. And plus we stink. Because we have dead people funk on us. Now I can jump over this. I'm going to go ahead and wash before I go and pick up their herbs. There's actually a perk that you can get that when you wash yourself, it'll give you 10 HP back. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this. 0 available perk points. Well, one thing I wanted to point out was, if you remember, before I fell, my main level was, I think, 16 or 17, and most of these were 16 or 17, and combat was 16, 17, or 18 or so. And, of course, now, as you can see, they're all very much less than 16 because of the arduous fall. So let's go up here, find our herbs. Let's just look at that. This place is just amazing looking. Of course, when I look around like that, my FPS goes down.
Damn, my shoulder still hurts like hell. Maybe now it'll tell me when it's gonna rain.
So just come up here. The compass E tells us where to go. Look at those deer, or that one deer, the stag. Man, nice rack. Here's a sage.
Purple flower, sage. There we go.
I want to pick up a lot of sage because you can sell this. I might be able to sell this. As you can tell, it's very similar. The flower picking up or the herbs picking up is very similar to before, but not exactly the same. And then the chamomile is right there as well.
That's it. Chamomile. Right, I've got all the herbs I need. So back to Bajena on the double. The sooner Hans gets that remedy, the better.
Oh, that's right. We got to go help Hans. All right. Oh. Sage actually sells for better than most herbs. That's why I'm picking it all up. All right. Let's run down. Oh. Why is that dog barking? Forewarned is forearmed.
What's that dog making such a fuss
Something's
about?
happening. Something's going on at
Could
Bojanas.
something have happened at Bajena's?
Just remember, not all sticky situations have to be solved through violence. Sometimes even the worst enemies can be reasoned with. Well, that's not how I deal with things. I deal with things by cracking skulls.
And who are you, fellas?
Hey, what are you doing? You're a dead man.
Oh, that wasn't cool.
You want to try me?
Yes, I do want to try you. Now I'm bleeding again because he hit me.
That's all I need. Getting mixed up in all sorts of nonsense at my age.
Well, ma'am, sometimes you can't handle it. I mean, can't help it. Trouble finds you, whether you want it or not. It looks like I'm bleeding again, so let's take a look at this. And wash yourself. Now we got two more dead bodies to, next time I'll kill you. Well, actually, I did kill you. Hey, her woman.
Did they hurt you?
No, but I think they would have if you hadn't come along.
Who do you think they were?
I don't know how much you heard. They came here saying they was from Lord von Burgo, and they was looking for 2 bandits that ambushed some knight yesterday. But for sure they wasn't von Burgo's people. They didn't even have his Waffenrocks. But they sure sounded keen to find you fellas.
Maybe they were from that band that followed us yesterday.
Look here. I almost got slaughtered twice in one day on account of you two. God be praised
True.
that my Pavlena wasn't here. Heaven knows what they'd have done to her.
Well,
So,
I killed them before they did
I'd
anything.
like to know why all this is happening. Your friend was talking in a delirium in the night, saying you was knights. But if you two are knights, then I'm the Queen of Sheba.
All right, so I'll tell her the truth. You deserve to know the truth.
Well, I must bow to your ladyship. Sir Hans is the young lord of Leiper and Perkstein. I'm Henry of Skalitz, son of Sir Radzig Cobbler, and I'm his bodyguard. We were heading to Trosky to deliver a message from Sir Hanish of Leiper and Margrave Jobst to Lord von Burgov. But we were ambushed by bandits yesterday down by the pond, and you already know the rest. And as God is my witness, we're no bandits. I swear to you, I'm thankful to you for saving us. And I'm sorry it caused you trouble.
Well, you sound sincere, so I'll take your word for it. I hope I won't live to regret it.
You won't. I promise you.
Promises are made to be broken, but thank you for dealing with them. Except I have 2 fresh corpses in my yard.
Don't worry. I reckon I've still got a bit of strength left. I ought to be able to manage it before evening.
I'd be eternally grateful to you. But be careful while you're at it. You don't want to open that wound or strain yourself.
What about Sir Hans? How's he doing?
He's holding up, I'd say. I treated his wounds and I'll change his bandages shortly. But what he needs most now is that remedy. Have you got everything for it?
Here.
Do.
Chamomile and sage, like you said.
Excellent. Now to brew the potion from them. I gave you two the last of my supply during the night. But fresh is best anyways. It's a shame my daughter Pavlena ain't back yet. She'd get it done in a jiffy, but we'll just have to manage without her. But you can do it too. It ain't nothing hard. My eyes are so bad, it'd take me all day. But at least I can tell you how to go about it.
I'll brew that remedy.
All right, I'll try.
I have a little experience.
Well, I've been at the alchemist bench a few times, but it's been quite a while.
That's grand. More than I was hoping for. And not to worry, it'll all come back to you. I have a book here with the recipe, but it'll be better if I tell you. I know it by heart.
I can read as well as any man, if that's what you mean.
My word. Maybe you really are a noble son.
I'll take the book just in case, but if you give me some advice, I'd be grateful.
Of course. Everything we need is in the hut. Let's get to it.
All right. Brewing potions. You can brew potions at the alchemy bench. Brew a healing potion for Hans Capon. Close tutorial. Oh, did I pick this up? No, I didn't. I need to pick... saving the game.
Everything's prepared. There's an alchemy bench in the alcove. Go to it and we'll get started.
Saving the game saves automatically during important moments. And from what I remember, what they told us, KCD2, it saves a lot more than KCD1. But of course, during hardcore, I'm not sure how that will work out. And then weak save your schnapps, you can save the game by drinking save your schnapps or sleeping in your own bed. I'm going to pick up the food. I didn't pick it up before. She put this out for me. She told me that in the last episode. So I am hungry. Nourishment 50. So let's go ahead and eat some of the food that we have. We also, I think, we might have looted some food off of the people that we've killed. Dried perch. cheese. Oh, now see, over here is where you see your current stats for health, energy, and nourishment. Health 100 is completely healed. I'm at 38, so I need to heal some. Energy 100, completely rested, and then nourishment 109. I'm overfilled. I'm stuffed. 100 is the normal full, and as you can see, we get the pig icon because we are overfilled. All right, let's start alchemy. So it's
First, go to the recipe book.
The recipe book is on the right. By pressing E, you can browse it. So as you can tell, the alchemy bench is very, very similar to KCD1. There are some changes though. So
Now find the recipe for chamomile decoction and remember what you have to do. Then get back to the bench and we'll start.
recipe book, you can flip through the book using A and D, and by pressing Q, you can switch between recipes and herbarium. When you're finished, you can go back to brewing by pressing R. So I switched to the herbs, and now I'm back at the recipes. And I only have one recipe, and that's chamomile decoction, which is what she wants. So let's go back to the table. Close the tutorial.
All right. First, you have to pour the right base into the cauldron. Choose the right pitcher from the shelf on the left, according to the recipe.
Okay, liquid potion base. Every potion needs a liquid base. Jugs containing the bases can be located on the shelf to the left. Select the right base and press E to pour it into the cauldron. And of course, this one calls for wine.
So, what did you pour in there?
Wide, of course. Like it says in the book.
Glad to hear it. Now try moving the cauldron over the flame, so you know how it looks when it starts boiling a bit.
Press E to move the cauldron over the fire. This will start boiling its contents. So E. Oh, let's close this. Oh, X. I think it's E and X at some point, but right now it's X.
Hear that bubbling? It's boiling. Remember that well. For most potions, you just have to simmer the herbs for a bit. But sometimes you need to get it good and hot. So you have to get the fire blazing under the cauldron using the bellows. Try fanning it with the bellows to get it boiling. It's boiling. To keep it going, you mustn't stop with the bellows. If you want to cool it down quick, take it off the flames. Try it. Move the cauldron up.
See how it-
Good. Now we'll start with the brewing. Get all the herbs that you need ready. The ones you picked.
So if you notice, it said E up in the tutorial, but it had X down in the bottom right. So I think you can use E and X to move the cauldron off or onto the fire. So let's get the... Oh. Oh. I keep doing that. Let's,
Put them there on the shelf, so you've got them at hand.
and then I confirm.
All right, let's get to it. First, throw 2 handfuls of chamomile into the cauldron.
All right, so we find chamomile. Press E to get 1 handful. Drop it in the cauldron. Press E for the second handful. Drop it into the cauldron.
Before you put it on the flame, turn the sand glass, so you know how long you're brewing it. It's got to be exact. Every grain of sand counts. See? When the sand has flowed out, that's 1 turn. That's how long you have to boil the chamomile. Move the cauldron to the fire and wait until it starts bubbling. Then turn the sand glass. As soon as the sand runs out, take the cauldron off the fire again.
Okay. In the directions it says E, but on the bottom right it says X. So I don't think E works in this situation. I'm going to get it a little boiling. Okay. So do it for one turn. And keep it boiling.
Ain't that enough? Take the cauldron off the flames.
Alright.
All right. Now, take 1 handful of sage, grind it with a mortar and pestle, and drop it in the cauldron.
Okay, you pick a handful, press E to put it in a mortar. Press E a second time to grind it. This is a lot better than KCD1. KCD1, you're pretty much...
Have you ground it? Good. Now, drop it in the cauldron.
KCD1,
You
you're
don't
pretty
have
much
to
on your
boil
own.
it anymore. All you have to do now is decant it. Get a phial and pour it in.
Alright, finishing the potion. Potions can be finished by decanting or distilling. This depends on the recipe. To decant the potion, take a phial from the shelf on the left and select the cauldron holding E. To distill, take the phial and select the retort located below the cauldron by holding E. So this is this distill piece. But we don't need to distill this. We just need to pour it. So I'm just going to take a phial and hold down E.
Done. Now, let's see what you've brewed.
And then it tells you how much you brewed and what it cost. Leave table.
Here it is.
Ooh, by the smell of it, it's a chamomile decoction the way it should be.
Happy to help.
This should help Hans get better. I'll take care of it now.
All right. Is there anything else I can do to help?
Well, if you feel up to it, I'd be right grateful to you if you was to rid me of them damn corpses what's lying there the whole time.
Sure. I'll do the best I can.
When you're done with that, go get some sleep. You won't miss anything, and you need the rest after everything that happened.
I do indeed. You are tired. You get rid of fatigue by sleeping in a bed. Furthermore, your health regenerates while you sleep. Alright, but we want to do something with these corpses. We want to get rid of them for her so that if anybody comes along, they're not going to say, hey, why you got 2 corpses in your yard? But also, it just makes her feel better. And I don't want to bring any more trouble to her or make her feel any more out of sorts than necessary after all she's done for us. So we'll just take him down to about the same spot. Start digging.
Ah, fuck. Ah, this damn shoulder. Oof.
Bury him. After quite a bit of arduous work, you have buried another guy. And we got the third one. Of course, all the blood, somebody might ask, but I guess you could say, oh, we slaughtered a pig or something. How would they know? What the hell was that? That didn't sound like any pig or chicken I know of. This swamp is kind of spooky. Bring them down to the same place. I'm getting good at burying people. Everybody better watch out. Once Henry starts getting good at burying people. Okay. Start digging. This reminds me of the movie Arsenic and Old Lace. They had so many bodies they buried in the the cellar. And there's a veritable army downstairs. I'm aging myself because most of you probably have never seen that movie because it was made back in 1940 something. After quite a bit of arduous work, another one is buried. Now let's go back to the house and get some rest so that we can go on killing people. Killing people is our game or is our job. No, wait a minute. How's that go? Killing people is our business, and business is good, apparently. Alright. Oh, let's wash ourselves, because we stink from picking up and carrying dead bodies. And another thing about beds, the only beds you can really sleep in, well, there are some, but most of the beds that you're only supposed to sleep in are the ones that say sleep and save. If you come across a bed, like if I go upstairs and looked at the bed up there, it won't even let me, but usually it would just say sleep because it's not your bed. If you sleep in it, you could get in trouble with the law if somebody catches you. So I'm going to sleep here because that's where they're expecting me to sleep. And then I'm going to sleep until I'm all fixed up.
A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer.
True, Sir Radzik. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently.
Where's my fucking sword?
And I found it. Everything I take now will be mine, and I plan to take everything.
Rotted hell!
Ugh.
Why would I miss one sword?
Because it's the last one my father forged, and I promised him I'd deliver it to you.
The stronger dog fucks the bitches, and war is a nasty business.
All scenes from KCD1.
Where's my fucking sword?
You know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you!
Yeah!
Don't disappoint me.
Wake up, Henry. It's past sunrise.
Hallelujah. I thought you'd never wake. Were you having a nightmare?
It looked like they're having a moment.
Bad dreams. You must be Pavlena, right?
That's right. I came in the evening while you were asleep. Ma told me what happened to you. Then I helped Ma take care of your friend that night?
Hans? He's alive. How is he?
Have no fear. He's alive, all right. Maybe too alive. Ma knows what she's doing, and that's the truth. I reckon she could bring the dead back to life. She said she dosed you with the strongest remedies she knows, and it looks like they did the trick. On that other fella for sure. Since he came to this morning, he hasn't stopped talking.
Yeah, that sounds like him, all right.
And what about you? How do you feel?
Better than yesterday.
Definitely better than yesterday. Thanks.
That's good. Ma will be glad, but I heard you yelling in your sleep and went to check on you. Bad dreams?
I dreamt of Istvan Toth, a villainous, murderous whoreson who stole my sword. The last memento I had of my father, and I swore to get that sword back and avenge my parents.
Oh, That oath must be serious if it even torments you in your sleep. Dreams shouldn't be taken lightly. They can have real meaning, however hard they are to understand. What strikes you as the most important part of your dream?
The most important part is my father. I loved my father, even though he turned out to be my stepfather, and he was killed when Skalitz was burned.
Pa, without a doubt. I hope his soul and Ma's find peace.
Dreaming of a dead parent is confusing. It could mean you cling too much to the past, and you ought to find a new path. But I think it's a good thing he's more important to you than that murderer.
Thank you. I'll think about it.
Thanks, Pavlina. I never thought of looking at it like that. It's a lot to think about.
You're welcome. But remember, it's only my reading. The only one who can really understand you is you yourself.
I expect you're right. So in the end, all the hard work will be on me. But this is all too much heavy thinking at once. Right now, what I need more is a little sunshine and fresh air.
Aye, that's the best remedy for many ailments. And a full stomach will help too. Breakfast is on the table, and I've got something else for you too. Come along, and we must save Ma from the clutches of his lordship.
Perk points. Increasing Henry's level will also give you perk points. You can use them to unlock his other abilities and upgrades. The list of perks can be opened by pressing P, so let's try that right now. Okay, so I have 15 available perk points. Strength. Hard-working lad. He grew up in a forge where hard work was never in short supply, and you find a certain satisfaction in it. If you carry a sack or even a dead or unconscious body, the weight only counts as half, therefore they will hardly burden you, and carrying them will no longer cost you extra stamina. Additionally, your carrying capacity is permanently increased by 8 pounds. Train hard, fight easy. When Sir Rezik took you into his service, the first thing he did was send you to train under Master Bernard. You still remember the beating he gave you. The required strength for all weapons will be 2 less for you. In general, if you have a lower strength than the weapon requires, you will do less damage with it. Conversely, if your strength is higher, you'll do more damage. With this perk, you'll reset state sooner. I'm going to take that, because we're going to be doing a lot of fighting. Agility. Deft hands. You wield weapons with ease and naturalness, as if you've done nothing else. Since childhood. The required agility for all weapons will be 2 lower for you. In general, if you have a lower agility than the weapon requires, you will find it more difficult to fight with. But if you have a higher agility, the stamina consumption will drop. With this perk, you will reset state sooner. Featherweight, fall damage is reduced by 30. I don't expect to be falling too much. I'm going to select Deft Hands. 13. Speech. Polished wares. Quality speaks for itself, but you will know how to help it along. When selling weapons, armor, or clothing that are in near perfect or perfect condition, 98 to 100%, you'll gain 10% more money for them. Silver tongue. They say silence is golden, but for you it's usually the opposite. You get a +4 speech bonus when haggling, making it easier to negotiate better prices. I'm going to do that. We can always get polished wares at some other point, but right now we're going to need the +4, I think, in haggling. Main level. Titles don't honor people that wear them. People honor titles that they hold. Your main level reflects your overall progress through the game and the general prowess of your character. Your main level will grow as your strength, agility, vitality, and speech levels do, as well as through completing quests and progressing through the main story. The maximum level for all stats and skills, as well as your main level, is 30. In KCD1, it was 20. So Charming Man, I'm not going to read all this top stuff, but I am going to read what it actually does. If you gain reputation, the increase will be 10% higher. Opportunist, if you lose reputation, the drop will be 10% less. I'm going to do this one because I expect we'll be wanting to get 10% higher. Craftsmanship, if you sharpen a weapon on the grindstone to a condition of 98% or higher, the weapon gains a bonus effect That increases its slashing damage by 10%. The effect will remain active as long as the weapon's condition stays above 75%. 7-league boots. If you wear boots repaired by yourself, sprinting will cost you 25% less stamina, so you can run longer and go further. Well fitted. Armor and clothing that you repair yourself with an armorer's kit will make less noise when worn. The effect lasts until the item's quality level drops. We will be doing stealth, so I think I'm going to choose this one. Horsemanship. Melee attacks from horseback will cost you 15% less stamina, and it will be harder for enemies to unseat you. And then saddler repairs with a cobbler's kit will be 20% more efficient. Additionally, because you know pouches and satchels well, you have a +1 bonus on thievery skill if you pick pockets. I'm going to go with this one because it says it will be harder for enemies to unseat you. That's pretty important. I can tell you that because we used to get unseated all the time in KCD1. Scholarship, cushion. I'm going to save this perk because I don't really care for this perk right here, and it's the only one available. The buff from sitting has increased comfort effect for a 50%, so you can study faster. I don't really like that, so I'm going to save that one. Stealth kill. Bushman, you make 50% less noise when moving in bushes. One way or another, if an opponent defends against your attempt to stun or stealth kill them, they will suffer penalties to their stats. This will make it easier for you to defeat them conventionally. The effect lasts for 20 seconds. I'm going to go with that one because we're gonna have to take people out. Warfare, we get 2 perks. Head protection, if you're wearing a helmet, blows to the head will cause 20% less damage. Steadfast, blocks will cost you 20% less stamina, and your shield and weapon will wear down 20% slower by blocking against all odds. When fighting against superior numbers, you gain a +2 bonus on strength, agility, and warfare skills. Hardened veteran. In combat, your stamina will regenerate 10% faster. I already know that stamina goes away pretty quick during combat, so I'm going to do this one. And then, although I like this one a lot, but we're going to be up against superior numbers almost all the time, so I'm going to go with against all odds initially, and then we'll try to get those others as we can. Swords. Opening strike. If you successfully wound an opponent by a strike to an uncovered zone, i.e. zone your opponent isn't blocking from, it will be more difficult for the opponent to block your subsequent attacks. Precise strike. With a fully charged sword attack, your sword fighting skill will count 3 higher, so your attack will not only be stronger, but it will also be harder to parry. Showtime. After performing a sword combo or a master strike, you instantly regain some of your stamina and can attack again. And then Tendon Slicer. For each successful sword combo, significantly reduces your opponent's agility and strength, making it harder for them to keep fighting and easier for you to defeat them. I want this because stamina is very important. You instantly regain your stamina, some of your stamina, and I definitely need that. So we want that one. And then opening strike, precise strike, or tendon slicer. I'm going to do tendon slicer. Even though I'm not real good at doing successful sword combos, I do them some, so that also will help me. Alright, heavy weapons. Shield breaker. Your heavy weapon attacks will be harder for opponents to block with a shield. Additionally, it will take less time to completely destroy an opponent's shield with your blows. Sundering blow. When you hit an enemy with a heavy weapon, their armor will count as 10 lower. I'm going with this one. Will be harder for opponents to block with a shield. Of course, if they don't have a shield. Pole arms. Hardwood. Pole arms will take damage 25% slower, keeping a distance. Blocking while using a polearm will be easier, more effective, and will cost you less stamina. I'm not going to use polearms very much, but that one sounded like a good one. Belligerent Brawler. After the first strike in combat, subsequent unarmed attacks will cost you 20% less stamina and will be 10% stronger. The effect lasts for 30 seconds. This perk will also activate after performing a stealth takedown, and then the harder they fall. If you fight an unarmed opponent if you fight unarmed against an opponent with a weapon, your unarmed combat skill will count as 5% higher. Well, I'm not going to fight unarmed against somebody with a weapon. That's just it. That's just not very smart to do. Hopefully it will never happen. So I'm going to take this. And that's it, other than this one perk I'm going to save for scholarship. Because like I said, I don't want to use cushion. Oh, we're overfed again. All right.
Look who's finally up! Henry!
Hans!
Come and join us!
We're going to pick up this apple, this onion, this other apple.
Good morning, Henry. You have no idea how glad I am to see you. Come join our banquet in the midst of these exquisite woods.
I'm glad to see you, too. I see you're in a surprisingly good mood for someone who was at death's door yesterday.
It's all the more cause for merrymaking. Even this water now tastes like the finest wine.
Of course. I did bring it all the way from the spring.
And for that, I am in your debt, fair maid. And I'm grateful to you too, Henry. Bojena told me what happened here yesterday. That's the third time you've saved my life. I suppose I'll have to give you some estate or something.
The third time? What in God's name happened the first 2 times?
Now, Henry, don't make her beg. Tell this good maiden of your heroic deeds.
I don't know if they're heroic. Sir Hans was captured. To cut a long story short...
Once, when we were out hunting, Hans was taken captive by humans. But with a bit of luck, I managed to rescue him.
Humans?
Yes, mercenaries from Hungary.
They come from somewhere in Hungary. Sigismund brought them here to Bohemia as mercenaries. They're a very dangerous bunch.
I told you about them, though. The fellas in the tavern in Zheleov were saying there's some foreigners like that camping in the rocks down by the pond.
What?
It's just what I heard.
Whoa, that's all we need. I hope they don't turn up here. What could us two do alone against them?
What could they want from us? But if they did come here to rob us, I'd shoot enough arrows into them to make them think twice. But the thing I want to know is, how did it end up with young Sir Hans?
Well, as I said, they took him captive. I rescued him.
Why the modesty? You got them. Maybe a stroke of luck, but as we know, Audentes.
Fortuna Iuvat.
See now, you've finally learned it.
What?
It's just this kind of motto of ours. Fortune favors the bold.
Maybe they're really telling the truth about who they are. Who but a lord or a priest could know Latin? And priests they ain't. I can tell.
And as I recall, you already got a pony from Uncle Hanush as a reward for saving me. Your pebbles. So I'll save myself a few groschen.
But you never gave me anything for Talmberg.
For Talmberg? What was that about then?
I'm going to do again to cut a long story short.
Hans was badly wounded during a night raid on Trosky Castle, and I had to carry him out of the battle on my back, so he wouldn't fall into enemy hands.
Gracious! Raiding a castle? That must be pretty wild, eh?
Indeed it was! Arrows raining down, outnumbered by hordes of foes mercilessly charging at us from all sides. I'm truly indebted to Henry for getting me out of that fix.
But I reckon you paid off part of your debt the other day, sir.
Yes, he did. How did you beat that cutthroat? I just want to say, Hans, stop making moves on Pavlena. I saw her first. So, back off, buddy. So, how did you beat those cutthroats? Or how did you beat that cutthroat?
True enough. Hey, how did you manage to get the best of that cutthroat the other night when you hauled me here?
To be honest, by a stroke of luck. We were fighting outside, but that fucker got a hold of his falchion and let me have it in the guts. I thought I was done for, but I groped around and found a pail and whacked him with it with the last of my strength. And luckily I hit him a nice crack right on the noggin. Can't remember a thing after that.
My word. Fortune really does favour you. You chose your motto well.
Once we get back to Ratai, I'll have it inscribed on my shield.
Do tell. What else did the two of you encounter?
Quite a lot of things, but I'm afraid we don't have much time for storytelling right now. We came here on an important mission, and we cannot afford to dally any longer. We have to get to Trosky as soon as we can. How far is it from here?
Not far. Once you climb the hill above Geleoth, you'll see the castle.
All right. I think we should get on our way as soon as possible.
I'll prepare a bit of food for you, for your journey.
Oh, Bozhena, I don't know how to thank you for all this.
Ah, but I do. Once we've settled our business with von Bergov, I shall reward you as befits a knight. You have my word of honor.
Now you've got me curious. I never got a knight's word before.
For a start, you can leave me that spade. We can't manage without it.
Yes, of course. And thanks for everything you've done, Bozhena.
I have something for you, Henry.
Oh.
Ma had trouble because of you, but I know you didn't do it on purpose, and you protected her when she needed it. I want to thank you for that.
Uh-oh.
Take this potion. It will help when you're in danger or don't know which way to turn. Have a little sip each time, and it'll save you a lot of trouble. You'll see.
Thank you.
It's not all that hard to brew. With a bit of practice, you could manage it yourself.
Thanks, Pavlena. This'll come in handy.
No doubt. But we'd better get going now.
Hans is right. We're very glad we met you. And we're obliged to you for your help and hospitality. God bless you.
And you too, sirs.
As Henry says, may God bless you for your generosity and your healing arts. And you have rightfully earned the gratitude of the House of Lipa for all time. If you should ever find yourself in need, the doors of Perkstein shall always be open to you.
Thank you, sir. Though, I'm not sure I could find the way to Perkstein.
I didn't steal that
Hopefully
food.
we'll never need to take up your offer.
I swear. It was already there for us.
Sorry for coming late, Ma. I got held up in Troskovitz.
Of all places. And it's not the first time.
I know, but I was going past and I thought I'd try to sell some baskets and ointments there. And I succeeded.
Emmerich won't be happy.
Then he shouldn't sell so dear. He charges nearly twice as much as we do, so it's no wonder folks buy from us. But I understand. Next time I'll come straight home, so you're not on your own so much. If anyone comes here again threatening you, I'll put them in their place with an arrow. That'll teach them to try it on with us.
Maybe it's a good thing you wasn't here. They'd catch you, and I dread to think what they'd do with you.
They'd never catch me. You know I can take down a hare on the run, and a man's an easier target.
True enough. You've got a steady hand and an eye like a hawk. Not like me. But you know how it is. The less fuss going on around here, the better for us. And if anything does happen, we've got Growler, and he won't leave us in the lurch.
True. That animal is God's gift. Time to do something useful. The days are long, but there's no end of work to do.
Aye.
Are you managing here all right?
We don't complain. We mostly live off the woods, and when we need something else, we buy it or get it from the villagers. Mostly, I weave baskets. And me and Ma brew ointments and potions. Then I go around the villages selling them, or I barter them for stuff we need. Sometimes folk come here to us, when it's something serious.
I think she's better looking than Teresa.
How come you live here and not in the village?
Oh, that's hard to explain. It's just the way things turned out. And Ma and... Look, that's our affair, and we won't talk about it. Sorry.
So it sounds like there's something going on behind the scenes with them.
Is anything interesting happening around these parts?
Them bandits is riding roughshod over the place. It's about time Lord von Burgau rousted them out, but I reckon you know something about that, huh?
You got that right.
And there's to be a big wedding. Young Lord Semin's gonna marry the daughter of the bailiff of Troskovitz, Thrush. That's the biggest thing happening. Apart from that... A band of nomads turned up here. They got a camp somewhere down by the pond.
You said you'd shoot arrows at the humans. You can use a bow.
Yeah, I'm pretty handy with it. I train up there, on the cliff, whenever I have a free moment. And the hares hanging in Ma's kitchen didn't just walk in by themselves. If they'd let me take part in the tournament at Trosky Castle, I'd beat all the men hands down, but that'll never happen. So I have to make do with hares and a straw mannequin. God be with you.
All right, let's talk to her.
Can you tell me something about these parts?
What can I say? The village of Sheleov is nearby, and close to it there's a big traveller's inn. And to the north of Sheleov is Tachov. They've got a blacksmith's there, and a small tavern. There's no love lost between the folks from Sheleov and Tachov. They're always out to spite each other. Some dispute about some meadow.
Well, I don't suppose those are the only villages around here.
It ain't far from Sheleov to Semin. Sir Jan, the owner, he got a big stud farm with fine horses, and down by the water, a mill. The biggest village in these parts is Troskovitz, what lies at the foot of the castle. The local bailiff has his seat there, and there's a tavern too. Then there's Nebakov Fortress, Sir Yaramir's seat. There's a mill at the foot of it. But Pavlena knows more gossip about folk around here. She goes out and about. I stay home these days and hardly meet a soul.
How come you live out here?
That's just the way it is. It's for me to know, and you to find out.
Ah. All right.
A mystery.
I won't pry.
Those corpses have been taken care of. They're gone to rest by the stream.
Oh, thanks, Henry. I appreciate it. You did what you could. Me and the gravedigger will do the rest, so I ain't stuck with that corpse forever. Praise be Jesus Christ.
Good day.
Oh, let's do this. So, in this game, to learn, you have to... Well, no, that you bought the recipe before as well. But you hold E down to learn it. So we learn Save Your Snops. And it takes 2 belladonna and 1 nettle, just like in KCD1. Let's clean ourselves. Water's looking a little red. I wonder why. Actually, I don't wonder why. Let's go, Hans. I heard you over here talking.
Finally! Where do you keep dallying?
My apologies, sir. I'm here now. We can get going.
Henry, don't provoke me.
I don't think Trosky Castle is going to go anywhere. So what's the rush for all of a sudden?
We have a crucial mission, and things are already fucked up quite enough. I intend to return to Ratai with good news, and to do it quickly. Let's go!
What about the rest of our company? Could someone else have got away?
You saw for yourself. They didn't stand a chance.
True.
But you're right, we shouldn't just leave it at that. As soon as we get to Trosky, I'll make sure they get a proper Christian burial, and their souls find peace.
And when we get back to Ratai, we'll have a mass served for them.
You're right.
True.
They were damned good lads. I'd known Oates since childhood. Damn it.
What about Mutt? He's bound to be looking for us, and we can't just abandon him.
Henry, I like your dog, but that's not our priority right now.
He saved my skin.
So did I. First Trosky, von Bergov and the mission, then we can look for your dog.
All right. But the moment things are sorted out, I'll go looking for him.
I'd expect no less of you. So, should we get going?
Hold on a bit. Before we hit the road, there's something you should know. I have a hunch that one of that band that ambushed us at the pond was Istvan Toth.
I knew it.
Toth?
We saw him.
Are you yanking my pizzle? He's long since over the hills and
We
far
saw
away.
him. Oh, look, he's saying it himself.
I tell you, I saw him there.
I did too.
Of course, Henry. I know you have accounts to settle with him, but that's nonsense. Toth is in Sigismund's service and is harassing his opponents. And Otto von Bergov is one of Sigismund's allies. So Toth's hardly going to attack his people. It was dark. God knows what you saw.
I saw him, the bastard, and I'll get him.
Yes. We'll surely get him one day. I promise you. And your sword, too. But I don't think either of them are around here. But I see you haven't wasted any time and found yourself a weapon to replace that sword. That's good. You never know when you might need it around here. Come on, let's get going. Your mind will turn to better things along the way.
All right. Cutscene. There's a good old woman. And the prologue is over. Wow, it's a long one, just like in KCD1 2. KCD1 2. This country looks, or these graphics look beautiful. That's Trosky, the town below the castle. That was pretty good too. I like the little cutscene for the.
Oh, I hope they've got a good physician at this castle. Or at least a barber. I mean, that old crone got me on my feet. But I don't believe much in herbal remedies. You can't beat an educated man of medicine.
And I can't wait to sleep in a proper bed.
And some wine!
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, it's closed.
Wow, what an awesome castle.
Open up! I bear an urgent message for your liege lord. Hear me! Open the gate! I am a messenger from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Somebody's coming. Oh! Oh, man.
You fucking cunts! Do you know who I am?
No, we fucking don't. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, heir to Ratai.
Now, look here, you filthy beggar! I'm not here for your amusement, so get your stinking, ragged asses out of here on the double. The pair of you!
What's all this about? Why don't you send those beggars packing?
I did, sir. They say they're messengers.
I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, envoy.
I heard. Nevertheless, I doubt Sir Hanush would send two vagabonds covered in excrement as emissaries. Apart from which, Sir Hans Capon is dead. We found his body by the pond. His company was ambushed by outlaws, and they were slaughtered to the last man.
Yes, they ambushed us, but we managed to get away.
Sir, we met your Captain Thomas on our way. He can testify to who we are. He saw our message and its seal.
How terribly unfortunate you are. The captain's company was also ambushed by outlaws. The captain barely escaped with his life and has been delirious for 3 days. And even if he did confirm your story, I am under strict orders to admit no strangers to the castle.
Sir, there's a horseman approaching, in King Sigismund's colours.
Ah, now that's what a messenger looks like. Count yourselves lucky that I don't have time to waste on you. Be gone!
I don't like these people.
Getting in, whether you like it or not.
Get your shitty hands off me!
Look, wait. Wait, one moment!
Well, I'd say that was a...
What the fuck was that?
I'd say that was a less than what they expected.
So now what?
There's only one thing we can do.
Get drunk.
Have you two got any groschen?
What do you take me for, wench?
For someone who stinks like a badger.
Look, we've had a tough couple of days, so we'd like a bit of peace and quiet, a beer, and a bite to eat.
Unless you want to share a bowl of gruel, you're going to need more coin than this.
Just bring the best you have, and we'll settle later.
As the gentleman wishes.
Well, she's not far off. We look like a couple of beggars, and we stink even worse.
True.
What the fuck was all that at the gate? You try to talk to them and get shit poured on your head.
Oh, different lands, different customs.
God's holy britches.
Well, I expect they've had trouble with beggars at the castle, so they act without thinking.
Oh, really? Oh, I'd never have figured that out. I'd rather hear some cunning plan how to get out of this shit. Huh?
First we have to wash and change.
And the first thing we have to do is get ourselves into decent shape. Have a good scrub, get some better clothes. Then they might believe we're actually messengers.
That's all very well, except we can't even pay our bill here. Never mind a visit to the baths and the tailor.
Earn some coin then.
So we'll earn some.
Earn?
I'm not afraid of work. And we're gonna need every groschen we can get.
And how long will it take for you to earn a few groschen? And where will you find a decent tailor? Before we get ourselves sorted out, Sigismund will be sitting on the throne in Prague.
So what do you suggest? Going back to Ratai?
To Ratai? You just don't get it, do you? We can't go crawling back like this. We'd be a laughing stock.
I know. I was being sarcastic.
I suppose you're right. We'd be taken for total idiots.
Well, you could shrug that off. But me, we've got no message, no coin, nothing but our ragged arses.
Chin up. We'll sort it out somehow, and everything will be fine again.
Nothing will be fine, my friend. I'll tell you 4 reasons why. Oates, Tankard, Conrad, and Nicholas.
Of course.
Instead of sitting here with us, having a chat and a laugh, they're just food for crows in some godforsaken hole.
We'll go back and bury them as soon as we can.
Yeah, as soon as possible. They were good Christians, even though it didn't always seem that way.
We'll keep the promise we made at Bajenas. The best way to honor their memory is to finish our mission. We'll get inside the castle. You'll see. We'll avenge our lads and go back to Ratai with our heads held high. I promise you that.
Audentes Fortuna Iuvat.
Audentes Fortuna Iuvat.
Food. About bloody time.
Here we are. Gentlemen.
What is this stuff?
Hey, there's meat in that. And there's more than you gave me coin for. When you're finished, report for work.
Cheers.
That's one of the girls from the pond.
What is it? What's that woman from the pond? Or the one you gave us away for?
I bear that witch. Wench!
What I tell you?
She slapped the wrong guy.
For? She can vouch for who we are. Go to her.
God be with you. A full pitcher of wine, please.
My word, that's a picture and a half. I ain't seen you here before. Who sent you? Not them nomad vagabonds, I hope.
Don't worry. I've come from the castle. I'm Catherine, and I've got the lovely job of keeping the soldiers' throats wet.
Ah, that's another matter then. Oh my. Ugh. Can you smell that too?
Oof. It stinks like something died here.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry to interrupt.
Jesus, fella. That's a bit much.
Hey, youngster, if you want to go around mixing with my guests here, go and wash the stench off yourself at the trough first. Stinking up my establishment.
Health, lads. That's the most important thing. Enjoy yours.
That is wounded.
Well, anyway, I think that's going to be the end of the video.
Captain Thomas might never get back on his
We,
feet. Him and his men were attacked
we're
by
making
bandits.
progress, but not
Most
much.
of them are dead.
But
Jesus
thank you very much
Christ.
for watching.
Lord Frontenac is
I'm
beside
going to put out a video on Rise of Precious Gold by tomorrow. And I'm going to keep on playing this game. I love it. Look at this game. It's beautiful. Look at this.
A bit. At least at first.
Look at this. And there's Trosky Castle, where we got shit thrown on us. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, like and subscribe and press the bell for notifications to get notified for any new videos. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much.